So today we are here for this webinar, which is very interesting session about the BIG grant and also about the business strategies, the customer discovery for the biotech startups, which is a very major and the key topics which we have today. And so this session is Iit Madras Bio Incubator and SIIC IIT Kanpur. We jointly collaborate and join the session. And along with the outreach partner, we have Islamia College and also the American College from Madurai. So on behalf of the organizing team, I welcome all the participants. We have the registration around 250 plus registrations we have. And yeah, we also have a good number, like we have attendees about 56. So people will be, participants will be joining the time. And yeah, so today the agenda of the program is like, I'll be talking an introduction about the outreach partner and also big associate partner Bio Incubator. And the next 10 minutes will be Miss Rohni from IIT Kanpur. She'll be talking about the big grant about from the BIRAG. And the remaining 35 to 40 minutes, the eminent speaker here, we have Mr. Shiva will be talking about the main topic about the customer discovery. And followed by the remaining 5 minutes to 10 minutes, we can have the panel discussion, the Q&A session. I request all the participants to post your queries in the chat box so that we can take up all the questions and we will discuss in the last session, in the panel discussion. Okay, so yeah, I'll be sharing my screen right now to give a small introduction. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. So we have two outreaching partners today, as I already mentioned. One is Islamia College of Arts and Science College. So welcome Dr. Muhammad Riaz from the college. So he is a coordinator for the innovation ecosystem entrepreneur cell over there, and he is also an assistant professor. So they majorly focus on the biotech medical devices and waste management, agriculture, vermicompost, and herbal medicines. That is a focus area of that innovation and incubation cell. And they have a very good infrastructure of the shared working co-office spaces and with high-end equipments. And they also handle the research consultancy project, and also they have a very good plant and animal tissue culture lab. And they also provide the servicing, like the mentoring and also the potential ideas on the assessment for the mentor panel. And they have a very good networking, and they have a lot of achievements also they have done. So if you have any clarifications, and if any of the participants from the Vaniambody nearby area, you can also talk to them and get avail the facility, and you can have the space over there, and you can have the networking with the Iit Bio Incubator. And the next outreach partner is the American College. Welcome Dr. M. Andrew Pradeep. So he is the head of the department in the Department of Microbiology, and they have a very good, it's a very good college, and they have a very good facility of the microbiology. And so their vision is to become a center of international repute, collaborating with foreign and national universities and industries for research training and exchange program. And they have a very good facility of high-end equipment facility, and they have a laboratory space. And now they are developing for the co-working space also. They have a very good lab technicians, and they have fully equipped with the microbiologies and a lot of incubation space they have. And the incubation facility, they are about to they provide a space for the bio incubator. They are establishing the space. So I welcome Dr. M. Andrew for this session. And so we would be very happy to have a collaboration with this both the outreach partner colleges. Yeah, so now I will be talking about the bio incubator. So Iit Madras Bio Incubator, sorry. So Iit Madras Bio Incubator, which is located in the Iit Madras Research Park. So we generally focus in the sector area of the industrial, agri-food, computational, environmental, and the healthcare sectors and veterinary sciences. So these are all the major area we focus, and we are the big associate partner and the knowledge partner for the innovation voucher program, which is supported by the it's one of the scheme supported by the EDII Tamil Nadu government, and we are also part of the Tamil Nadu Bionas cluster. So we have around 21 startup companies, and they have a tune of funds they have generated approximately 30 crores. And so apart from the incubations, and also we have a very good high-end equipment and low-end equipment of 120 equipment facilities we have. So and 9,000 square feet of the incubation office space, which is including the laboratory and the office space, which includes 9,000 square feet. And apart from the incubation, we also have early translation accelerator program, and we also provide the industrial projects and also a consultancy for the external services and capacity building program and networking program. And these are some of the technologies products which we are in our bio incubators. We have the products which are available in the market. Fipsol Life Technology, which I will show you in a short video about their product. And the Thevanam additives, they have their immuno booster for the shrimp, and they are also developing the biodegradable papers. And Sysgen Life Technologies, they are biotechnology, they are developing a therapeutic for the parvovirus virus for the dogs. And MGH, they are developing devices, and there are another like bigomics big data from the Meda Technologies. And so these are all the products, some of the products which are available in the bio incubators. Okay, so I'll just show you a small video about, in order to motivate the participants, we have around 86 participants. They wanted to know about the innovations which is happening in bio incubator. So Fipsol Life Technology is one of the startup company. This is a membrane they have developed. They just usually the biofertilizer means we have powder or the liquid form, but this innovation is in the form of the membrane, where they can dissolve in the water and they can apply in the field. So the membrane which are getting entrapted here, it's of the major and the bacteria which is capable of the producing the major nutrients and micronutrients. So the bacteria gets dissolved in the water in the form of membrane, and when they are poured into the agriculture land, it gets entrapted. I mean, it serves the purpose of the major and the minor nutrients. So this is one of the innovations which are incubated in the bio incubator. And there is another incubation called the MGH Labs. It's the device called the bog orchid. Usually we have the mosquito repellent we have, but this is one of the innovations, a bog orchid. They have developed is the mosquito attractant. So this is a device which attracts a mosquito, and it will they have the USP of the human mimicking pheromones they have. The mosquito gets attracted towards that solution, and they get attracted, and there will be an exhausting chamber will be there. It will suffocate and it will die. So we can able to see that how many mosquitoes gets entrapted and it got killed. This is one of the innovations from our startup company. So these two, both the companies, they have developed their technology and they have their own manufacturing unit, and it is the things are available in the market. So this kind of innovations happening in the bio incubator. Yeah, that's thank you. And yeah, so now that's all about the introduction about the outreach partner and the bio incubator. With not taking much time, I will introduce the next speaker, Rohni Chawla. Ms. Rohini is a big program manager in SIIC IIT Kanpur, and assist prospective entrepreneurs, science graduates, scientists, and research scholar and faculty who want to convert their idea to commercially viable product to pitch for the grant. Her core strength is in the biosimilar and stem cell pharmaceutical diagnostic agriculture and related areas. She done her PGD in IPR and her master's in Max Planck Institute, and she has a 9+ years of experience in both R&D and innovation ecosystem. So previously, she has worked in the British Council as a consultant and worked in IARA as SRF. Over to you, Ms. Rohini.
Thank you so much, Priya. for the introduction. And before I start, this is a very important session because in this session, the major focus will be towards the business strategies, and from most of the participants, most of the applications which I received from the admissions, this is one question where the people usually, they have the queries that they face the difficulty how they should write the application in terms of the business, what they should write in the business strategies, and how they can go for the customer discovery. So I will not take much time introducing the BIG grant. So I'll just take a couple of minutes and then we can move towards our main speaker of the session. So at SIC, I am currently a manager handling the bio programs. And at SIC IIT Kanpur, we have been established since 20 years now, and we have more than 100 incubated startups. And with 100 incubated startups, we have more than 300 plus innovators. More than 100 plus crore of external funding has been acquired by the startups, and we have supported more than 35 women-led innovations till now, and more than 65 patents have been filed. So our current portfolio consists of basically, we cover number of thematic areas. For example, healthcare, agriculture, IT, hardware, education, technology, clean tech, waste to value, and sanitation. And if you think that you have some idea and you have an innovative idea, so you should stop worrying about the funds for the next big idea. We at SIC IIT Kanpur provide funds from the ideas from the ideation stage to the ideas to the scale up stage. So we have, for example, for the ideation stage, we have Nidhi EIR, IITK Innovation Fellowship, TIDE, Spursh Fellowship. And for prototyping stage, we have BIG, which I will be talking in little bit in detail in couple of minutes. And then we have Prism, Nidhi Prayas, TIDE MVP. And then we also have Seed Fund, Barek Seed, IITK Innovation Seed, Nidhi Seed Support, TIDE Seed Fund. And then for Scale Up, we have EIL, ENG, SUI, and Prism 2. So currently the application for BIG is open till 15th of February. 5:30 in the evening will be the deadline. And to be eligible for BIG, you should at least have a graduation degree, any field. If you're coming from any background, whether it is commerce, science, anything, you should have a graduation degree. Number two, any startup which is less than 5 years of old, 5 years of age can apply for this BIG grant. So basically, it supports the research-based business ideas to the proof of concept and validation. It is a royalty-based grant which offers 50 lakh rupees to the innovators, and the duration is for 18 months. And it's not a research-based grant. It is a grant for basically for the ideas who have their application in the biotechnology field, and for the innovators who want to commercialize their ideas. So till now we have total of 38 grantees across various sectors in healthcare, covering healthcare, industrial biotechnology, agriculture, waste management, and clean energy. And just to give you a couple of examples from our cohort of grantees, for example, in the healthcare sector, which covers the medical devices, diagnostics, drugs, including artificial intelligence and machine learning. So here we have one example from a professor who has proposed an idea for remedial orthosis for clubfoot disease. And then we have another startup which has proposed a device, a kind of a screening test for preeclampsia in the pregnant women. Then there is a startup which is trying to develop a retrofittal device for rapid urine testing. Then another startup is trying to make a novel integrated system for gynecological examination. In agriculture, just to give you an idea, there is a startup which is trying to make, this is from Kerala, and it is trying to make an automatic cocoa bean separating machine. So this machine is basically is 100% efficient. So it separates the seeds from the cocoa bean without breaking the seeds. Then another startup is trying to work in the area of irrigation scheduling using the real-time data or water availability requirement. And in the industrial biotechnology, we have a startup who have proposed a new process which for the commercialization of the stevia extract, where they are trying to refine the process of manufacturing of enzymatically modified stevia to get rid of that bitter lingering taste after effect of the stevia which we usually get. And another startup is trying to produce a pectin out of the tamarind waste. This waste is basically, it will act as a critical import substitute for pectin in the country. Then another startup has proposed a very interesting idea of protein-based bioplastics. So bioplastics and biocomposites, so made up of upcycled poultry waste from the processing perspective, and to prevent the counterfeiting in seeds and pesticide medicines and medical implements. Another startup, Transpex, is trying to produce a smart stickers where they can detect the anything which is fake in seeds, pesticides, medicines, or medical implements. So if anybody who is interested to apply for BIG, what you have to do is you have to go to the Bioplastics portal, and there you have to register yourself. And either you will be registering yourself as an individual or as a startup. So there'll be a separate application forms you will be filling, and then you have to choose one of the BIG partners. SIC IIT Kanpur is one of the 8 BIG partners for BIREC scheme for BIREC. And once you have submitted your application, so your application will be evaluated on the criteria such as the technical feasibility, whether your idea is technical feasible or not, the novelty of the idea, the overall potential impact it has across the nation, then what kind of a commercialization strategy you will be adopting to make your idea come to the market, and how you will be selling your product. Then what kind of team you have, whether you have a team with the proper technical background or not, or people with the proper business background who will be supporting you for the proper execution of your work. Then you should also be able to understand what kind of barriers you'll be facing while executing your project, then and also the overall BIG plan. And why you should go for BIG is definitely it's a very competitive grant every year. I mean, every year I see in the last call there were around 800 applications for BIG across all the domains, but it is a very prestigious grant, and it is, plus it assures the follow-on funding for any grantee. Coming to the budget section, if you just divide the 50 lakh rupees, so 30% has been dedicated towards the equipment, 30% towards the human resource. Consumables and contingencies are flexible. IP, you can spend around 1.5 lakh rupees, for traveling 1.5, and 20% has been dedicated towards the outsourcing. So coming to the follow-on funding, so once you are a BIG grantee, so it makes you kind of you come to the recommended list of those applicants to the other grants as well, where you can get greater grants, for example SIBRI or BIPP, which can help you to come in the overall commercialization of your product and bringing it to the market. For the people who are interested to apply for this grant, so they must be having their product at the different technology readiness level. So just to understand, just to give you an idea what a technology readiness level is. So if your idea is at the ideation stage, so if you're having basic principles of technology, has been reported and the need has been clearly identified, so your TRL level is 3. So if your idea is somewhere around to the proof of principle, which means that you have your application has developed formulated, and protocols have been developed. So your idea is at the technology readiness level 2. And if you have the proof of concept, you have demonstrated the proof of concept, and that means that you have done the active research, synthesis and characterizations of the products, and you have done the laboratory studies. I mean, everything has been done at the lab scale level. So your idea is at the technology readiness level 3. So the maximum you can apply up to the technology readiness level 3. Beyond the technology readiness level 3, you're not eligible to apply for this grant. So for to understand it in a more deeper way, you can visit the BAREX website for understanding the TRL levels for different domain areas. This was just to give an idea about the TRL level so that you have an understanding, and because you have to fill this in your application form as well. Coming to the evaluation process, it's four-step process. First, you will be submitting your application, and your application will be screened for basic details, scheme fitness, and you have not done any kind of plagiarism and all those criteria. And then further, once it is shortlisted, it will be sent for an online review where the subject experts and business experts will be evaluating your proposal. And there will be 5 people who will be evaluating your proposal here. And they will be giving the scores. And then the cutoff will be decided. And based on that cutoff, you will be further recommended for the technical evaluation panel round, where you have to present your work in front of the committee members, expert committee members in the different domain areas. And then they will be giving scores on your while you will be presenting. So a cutoff will be decided, and in the final expert selection committee round, the final cutoff will be decided and marks will be given, and all the applicants who make through the cutoff will be recommended for the BIG funding. So why you should apply with us? Well, as an entrepreneur, it's not just that we have this is one of the funding programs. We have BIG is one of the funding programs, but we have various other funding programs as well. If you feel that you fit in some other scheme, you can apply for that scheme as well. We have mentors across. We have a very strong pool of mentors across the business as well as academic mentors, which includes the IIT faculty. We have a prototyping facility, a very strong network of alumni, angel investors, venture capitalists, and management firms. We have a very dedicated intellectual property cell and a technology transfer cell. Plus, we help you to connect to the B2G market, B2B market. We provide you with the policy level support and also the venture capital connect. To give a couple of examples from our mentors pool, we have very prominent people connected with us. For example, Dr. Ajay Chaudhary, who is the founder of HCL Technologies. Then we have Dr. Saurabh Srivastava, who is the Padma Shri and founder of NASCOM. We have Pawan Chaudhary, who is the chairman of MTAI. We have Dr. Ragesh Bhargav, who is the member and board of member of chairman of Fresenius Kabi Oncology Limited. Then we have Sanjay Banerjee, who is the MD of Zimmer Bionet. Yashdeep, who is the global R&D head of Stryker Corporation. Mr. Sanjeev Verma, who is the chairman advisory and board Catapult of Catapult Asia and former MD of Baxter India. We have Mr. Shrikant Shastri, who is the board member at SIC IIT Kanpur Venture Center Pune, and also the part of National Expert Advisory Committee at DST Government of India. We have Mr. Biplav Paul, founder of Narita Services and Angel Investors. And just to get more details about more mentors in our mentors pool, you can visit our website as well to get more details about the other mentors. And at SIC, once you have submitted your application, before submitting your application, I usually tell all the applicants to send your draft application to us, because many applicants, they get confused about how much technical data they have to add, or how they should write a business plan or business strategy, or what will be the TRL level of their work. So I usually recommend applicants to send a draft application first and get corrections, and then go for the final submission. And once you have submitted your application, we make sure that we provide you all the business and technical experts. Plus also we help the applicants with the special IP and regulatory sessions, so that their chances of getting through the BIG grant increases. So I'm just giving a couple of examples, but just to give you an ideas where you can think of, what are the current trends you can think of to venture into. So, to try to identify the key challenges in the today's world in the country, and which needs solutions, especially for India. For example, sanitation, wastewater management, pollution, go green concepts in agriculture, or and AI usual learning concepts, devices which are basically mainly imported in the country. So anything, if you think you can make a substitute of imports, you can think of going in that direction, and such ideas are basically encouraged in the BIG grant. And if you're looking for, just try to look for area where government is focusing big time and looking for they want to support through grants. For example, pollution, green environment, waste to wealth, nutrition, COVID management, or various disease management as well. Plus, you can try to go into the ideas where consumer trends are changing, and there might be a niche area in the country. So you can go for the novel food, new trends in the food processing industry, eco-friendly. This is just an example, like eco-friendly soaps, big data analysis in agriculture. And these are my inputs. What I have seen, why the applications are rejected when people are filling the application form, and also during the pitching ideas. So I made couple of points, and which I have observed. So while you are writing an application, while you are presenting your work in front of the committee, please give the very crisp answers. Even in the application form, be clear about your objective of the innovation, have a well-defined POC. Your idea should have the technical feasibility. Okay, you have a great idea, but it is not technical feasible, so I don't think so it's very worth to spend time and money and energy in that direction. Plus, it should have a strong value proposition, and you should be very, very clear who your customer, with respect to your customer segmentation, and try to go for something which has a strong novelty. If it is not very exclusively novel, try to propose something which is not being done in the country, in India. Maybe it is being done abroad, but it is not being done in India, so that those ideas are also, we can say that, import substitutes, for example, in the medical devices. So those ideas are also very encouraged. Try to identify the key differentiator in your innovations. Try to board mentors, people who have a lot of experience in the field, proper team, so that overall application looks very, very strong. And put a small short video or a pictorial presentation, a proper concept note in your application, in your presentations, which you will be uploading in your application. Do not propose something which is based on the others' innovation. Try to avoid the solutions which are me too low cost, and which lack absolute novelty. And don't show the arrogance when you're presenting in front of the committee members, and avoid taking pictures from the remote places. Plan ahead. Just take 30 minutes, at the day of the presentation. Try to take 30 minutes off, and just try to dedicate that much of time for your presentation. And so these were the points why which I have observed, why the applications were rejected. So this applies to the application across all the domain areas. So those applicants were basically lacked the team with the technical expertise. There was no proper team. Overall clinical study design was missing in their application. The overall proposal lacked the technical challenges. You are proposing something, but you are failing to understand, or have a vision of analyzing what technical challenges you will be facing and you do not have any plan to overcome those challenges, so definitely you're going to fail. So nobody would like to invest money in you, I mean, such ideas, right? So you do not have a relevant advisor in your team. You have, okay, people were just having 1 or 2 members team, and they were not having proper advisors who can advise them in a proper direction. So primarily data was missing, and they do not have any experience in handling that data. There was a lack of value proposition, and there was a problem with scale up. Okay, there are certain ideas which I have observed, especially in the industrial biotechnology. People are able to produce the data at the lab scale level, but when it comes to scale up, they are not able to visualize, or they do not have a proper plan how you're going to scale up. So that such ideas are also were rejected because there was no proper scale up plan. And there were other factors were similar. There was similar products were already there available in the market, and they did not have any market potential. The novelty, they were not able to bring out the novelty in their products. There was no information on the cost benefit analysis, and they failed to provide a proper business plan how they're going to reach the market. So these were my like summary of what I observed, why the applications failed to sail through the PIG, and these might be applicable for the other grants as well. So if you think you want to apply, and you may be interested to apply for other programs as well, so you can just visit our website at sicincubator.com, and you can write to me at rohinic@iitk.ac.in, or you can also send your emails to bioincubator@iitk.ac.in. So this was all about the PIG. Now we will be moving towards the the business strategies, how you can our next speaker will be talking about the business strategies and how to identify the customers. So over to you, Shiva, now. And thank you so much for patient listening.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe I can give you a small introduction about Mr. Shiva Rohini. Thank you so much, Rohini. We will discuss and we'll take up the question after this session. So now let me introduce Mr. Shiva Subramaniam. Shiva is the co-founder of Biomimicry Compost and Iit Madras Incubated company that enables innovation using nature's design, strategies, and engineering principles. He is a coach and facilitator specializing in innovation, creativity, entrepreneurship, and cross-culture skills. In his career spanning over 3 decades, he has worked with a multitude of organizations, teams, and individuals, helping them with new ways of thinking, exploring connections, expanding their vision, and realizing their potential. Shiva is a guest faculty at Iit Madras, where he teaches courses on the creativity, entrepreneurship, life skill, cross-culture, and biomimicry. Sir, we were looking forward for a session on the customer discovery. Yeah, welcome and over to you, Mr. Shiva.
Right. Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Rohini. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. So thanks, everyone. It's very unfortunate that I can't see all of you. I wish I could. Is there a way to see all the participants? Is there a way to see them?
No. Rohini, is there any option
to
no,
see
the
participants?
No, I don't think so. But we can take the questions, and they'll be writing
I don't
questions.
know if I see the participants, there's much more energy and all that, right? That doesn't matter. So how much time do I have? 20 minutes, right? Because we finish at 4, right? What time do we finish?
So yeah, we'll be taking 10 more minutes more. 20 minutes you can present, and then we can take question answers from the audience, and we'll have some discussion as well. Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much. I know afternoons are not the best time to learn customer discovery, but I'm gonna be as brief as possible. I'm simply going to, at the end of 20 minutes, I think it's important for us to take away just 2 or 3 things. That's all. So a normal 3-day program, I'm going to consolidate into just 20 minutes. And all I want to do is to impress upon you that there are maybe 4 or 5 words, just 4 or 5 words that one has to remember in the context of customer discovery. That's all. So let me present. I need you to tell me, Priya, if you can see my screen, because I'm not sure, but can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
we can.
so I have about few slides, but I'm going to go to slide. This is what at the end of today's session, at the end of the 20-minute session, I would like you to form a sentence with these words. And these are the only words that we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about the word customer, empathy, pain, assumptions, validate, listen, discovery, gain. That's all. According to me, that's all this whole program is about, customer discovery, right? So I'm going to show this slide to you again at the end of today, so that you can start to form the sentence around these things. Um, this is one, I'm sure every one of you has seen this slide 1,000 times. The starting point, why you're going to be applying for the BIRAC, grant is because you're passionate about something, you have a great idea according to you, and you think there's a technology backing the idea. Fine, so be it. These are the three questions you ask. What is the problem I'm trying to solve, which is why you're applying for the grant? You're asking, whose problem am I solving? Am I solving this person's problem, that person's problem? So that's the person so this is a very essential question, whose problem I'm solving? And you're also asking, how is the problem solved today? So therefore, there must be a certain way the problem is being solved today. So it's not as if the problem is not being solved today. We saw in those two videos, it is not as if mosquitoes are not getting caught, but you're asking, how is the problem solved today? Today, the problem is solved by putting whatever on the thing, making the whole mosquitoes run away because of the smell. And here Priya was talking about a video where the mosquitoes are attracted. So therefore, how is the problem solved today? Whose problem you're solving? You're solving for all those little children who are sleeping, all those people who are prone to malaria. Those are the people's problems you're solving. And what is the problem you're trying to solve? You're solving the problem of not contacting malaria. So this is a fictional company I'm running, a very fictional company. I want to use this company for the next 10 minutes. The name of this company is Lollipop. I hope you like the name. And the name of the company is Lollipop. And this is, okay, put yourself in my place now, right? Every one of you wants a grant. Each of you is an entrepreneur. Each one of you wants to make something out of this world. Each of you has a purpose in your life. You really want to make something out of your life, right? And therefore you begin an entrepreneurial venture. In my case, I'm saying I want to provide a benefit to mothers by being the go-to business for children's lunches. So I have passed by 5-6 schools, and I find mothers are struggling to give lunch to their children. So I want to start a company. This is how everybody starts, right? You have an idea, you are passionate about something. And then what do? I do some research. And here I have. This is my customer. And this is the customer I have in my head. Her name is Kalpana. She's imaginary. I don't know whether there's a pun on the word Kalpana, but she's imaginary anyway. Then she's got two kids, 9 and 11. And the kids go to school, class 4, class 6. Kalpana, now I'm looking at Kalpana, right? For me, Kalpana is the most important person because she is the one who is going to be my customer. So I'm imagining things about her, and which is exactly what you will do. You are imagining your customer, and you are saying, okay, this is my imagination that she goes to work at 9 o'clock. She drives work. The children have to leave school by 8 o'clock. They finish at 3. They have a very good breakfast, but Kalpana is constantly worried about making lunch. The children are very fussy people. Kalpana is not able to manage everything at home. The children never finish their lunch and keep complaining. And this is your profile for Kalpana. Now, this is the customer you have in your mind when you're applying for that grant. You need to have that person. Otherwise, you will not get a grant if you don't even have an imaginary customer in your head. But customer discovery is not about imagining a customer. Customer discovery is about discovering a customer, which means that so this is a boring slide, but anyway, you have to see it. Therefore, you have to see it. So you start with researching. That's what I did, right? I researched, second research. I went to Google. I said, okay, what are the problems around lunches? And then I'll come back to empathy. And I used all these second research and empathy and everything to understand the customer and the need. And then I'm assuming so many things about Kalpana, right? I'm assuming, look at the assumptions I'm making. Look at the assumptions I have made. So many assumptions. All these are assumptions I don't know. I'm just making assumptions. Therefore, assuming is a part of the process. And then I question, I go and ask Kalpana. I ask 100 Kalpanas, I ask 200 Kalpanas, 300 Kalpanas, whether they fit into the assumptions they have made. And then I get the evidence from them, and I come back to Rohini and Priya and say, I want to apply for the grant. And that, in a sense, is customer discovery. So I start with an idea. I do a lot of research on that idea. I empathize with the imaginary customer. Try to understand what their need is. I assume this is what is the need of the customer. I ask questions to customer to verify the need, and then I collect the evidence and I come back and apply for the grant. That's all it is. I can stop right now. If you have understood this process, you have understood customer discovery. I have nothing else to say, seriously. Can there be anything more than this? I'm asking you, can you start a business? Can you apply for a grant if you don't know this slide? Tell me how many, every one of you, all those great panelists that Rohini said, every one of them is going to ask you these questions. Who is your customer? What is their problem? How many customers have you spoken to? What are your assumptions of the customer? What is the evidence you have that they have a problem? Why would they pay you money? What are they doing now? Why is it that you are even in business? Go back to that mosquito example, right? That Priya showed us. How many people have that problem? How many people will buy that machine? Who has that problem? What is their problem really? Go back to the other example about soil, right? About the what did you say, Priya? What was that?
It's a biofertilizer.
Biofertilizer. So how many people have they spoken to? I'm not saying they have not. But tell me, it cannot just be an idea in your head. You cannot just have an idea in your head, apply for a grant, get 50 lakhs, and find that nobody wants it. Because you don't know what people's pain are. You don't know whether they want to use powder. You don't know whether they'll take that filament, right? So therefore, before you do anything, it's important to do this slide. That's all I'm saying. That's all. But then, of course, Rohini and Priya will get angry with me if I stop now. So I'm just going to continue, right? I'm just going to continue and say, okay, the next slide is, therefore, customer discovery is, what are your assumptions about your business right now? What are your assumptions right now? So write down your assumptions. Next, then verify your assumptions by talking to your customers. Actually go to your customers and speak to them, talk to them, ask them questions, and then, but the word there is assumptions, okay? Assumption. What is the meaning of assumptions? Assumptions means anyone? Oh, I'm sorry, you can't talk. So assumptions means imagining something that the customer is going through. And assumptions, yeah. So therefore, the goal is not to sell your product. You're not going to sell your product when you talk to the customers. You're not going to tell them, I have this great machine. I have these things to drive away mosquitoes. You're not going to say that. You're simply going to find out from the customer what the customer's problem is. That's all. Your goal is to understand your customer and their needs. That's all, nothing else. You are not going to assume anything. You're not going to make anything, right? Before you actually apply for anything at all. You are, like what she said, you're going to be in that prototyping stage. But even before prototyping, you're going to find out if this is something that customers really need by finding out, going to them and talking to them. So what do? You visualize your customer, like what I did with Kalpana. You visualize the customer and you visualize a day in the life of the customer. So you close your eyes. We have all of this has great power of visualization, right? So close your eyes and imagine your customer. Imagine your customer getting up in the morning at 6 o'clock, very, very upset because she's not had a good night's sleep. And then she quickly takes up all the vegetables and everything, and then she cuts the vegetables. And then by the time that the child is starting to cry, and then she has to put the uniform, and maybe she's a single mother, and then she has to pack the whole thing. And then the school bus has come, and she has to put the child in the bus. And at the same time, a conference call is happening in her office, and then she has to leave for office. Imagine this day and ask yourself, Where does your idea fit into her life? If your idea does not fit into her life, however much you're in love with your idea, she's not going to buy from you. Definitely not. So unless you have an idea about her life, you can't sell anything to Kalpana. And if you want about 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 Kalpanas buying from you, you better ask at least 100 of them what their problem is before even starting with your idea. So customer discovery happens even before you have a customer. I'm sorry to say this, but I would rather say this to young entrepreneurs like you and help you learn these lessons rather than spend money and time and then at the end of 2 years you wonder why you have failed and you ask yourself, oh no, I should have discovered the customer before I even spent any money. It's a great way for you to save a lot of money, right? And then you go, you observe your customer. Many of my people I know actually sat in a shop the entire day, right? They sat in a shop the entire day, found out how customers behave, and then they learned about the customer. So that's all this slide is. I'm just repeating the same thing every slide, right? Because that's what I want you to learn at the end of 20 minutes. 20 minutes is too short for us to learn anything. But we can learn a lot of stuff in 20 minutes, which means, again, we're talking about discovering the customer, understanding the customer. What are the 3 or 4 tools I want to leave you with? Empathy. Don't ever forget empathy, please. See, all of us have empathy. Basically, I wish I had a lot of time to speak to you about empathy. I love this word, but unfortunately we don't have that time. So what does empathy mean? Empathy means putting yourself in the shoes of the customer and looking at the problem from his point of view, her point of view. At IIT Madras, we have what is called an empathy walk. About 40, 50 of our students in the creativity class go around the campus, putting on their empathy hat, looking at the problems from his point of view, from her point of view. One of the students put himself in the shoes of the people waiting outside the hospital and asked yourself how difficult it is to wait, right? You have to wait in front of the doctor for 2 hours. You have a stomach ache, you have fever, and you have to wait in front of the doctor for 2 hours. You become that patient. You become that person waiting. Then you understand the problem. Because he understood the problem, he went and created an app that could help the resident know that the doctor is going to see him in the 15 minutes, and he comes to the hospital. So empathy is a great way to find out what your customer is feeling. There is this brilliant video by Muruganandam, the man who made those sanitary napkins. He actually put himself in his wife's shoes when she was menstruating and asked himself, what does it feel to be a menstruating person? And he actually took a football bladder, filled it with animal blood, tied it to his abdomen, and walked around in that bladder for 5 days in order to find out the problems around menstruation. And today he has about 150 crore industry because he makes sanitary pads in a very, very, very inexpensive way. Look what empathy can do for you. And all of us are gifted with empathy because from day one, apparently a small baby will cry because it listens to the cry of another baby. It doesn't know why she's crying, but she cries simply because she feels empathetic towards that baby. Every one of us in this audience has the power of empathy. Let us use them to imagine our customer. What do you imagine? What do you imagine? You imagine that's all it is. You imagine the pain of the customer. Look at the pains the customers have. I don't know whether Priya wants to share this slide with you. If she wants to, please take it from her or from Rohini. Look at the pains, right? Look at the pains. Look at the first one. What does your customer find too costly? Have you asked this question about your customer? What makes your customer feel bad? There are three pains. There are three pains, P-A-I-N-S. There are three pains that all of us have. Emotional pain, functional pain, and social pain. Emotional pain. I buy something because I want you, you're solving my emotional pain. I buy something because I have a functional problem for solving something for me. I buy something because you make me look nice in front of people. So social pain, functional pain, and emotional pain. And all these questions answer those pains. A pain is something that a customer goes through. A pain is something that the customer feels. And the customer pays hard-earned money because you're solving a pain. Ask yourself, what pain are you solving? You will know this answer by empathizing with the customer. After you have found out the pain, go and ask the customer, can something be more easy in customer discovery, right? How are current solutions underperforming for your customer? What are the main difficulties and challenges your customer encounters? What negative social consequences? There's one question here which says, what keeps your customer awake at night? Look at that. I think that's an 8th question, right? What keeps your customer awake at night? Because surely your customer will buy. If Kalpana cannot sleep because she does not know what to do for lunch for the children next day, she will come and buy from me. So this is customer pains. And you have to imagine all of them, put yourself in the shoes of the customer and go and ask the customer, Kalpana ji, कल मैंने सोचा था, I learned yesterday that I want to know what keeps you awake at night. I want to know what are the difficulties you have for packing lunch for your children. I want to know what is the connection between your children's performance in school and the lunch they have. I want to know how many times your neighbor has come and complained that your children were crying in the school because they didn't have any good lunch. I want to know how many times the teachers told you that the children are not finishing their lunch. Look at the questions you can ask, Kalpana. And why would you want to start a business without asking these basic questions, right? And then you go on to gains, right? Gains are things people pay for. You may not have a pain. The customer need not have a pain, but there must be something that he gets out of your product. So these are the questions which help you find out the gains. Which savings would make your customer happy? What does your customer expect more than what he's getting? What is the solution to delight your customer? I'm not going to read all these questions, but these questions, if you're interested in entrepreneurship, you better not miss out on these questions, right? So therefore, and gain is not the opposite of pain. So don't be lazy and say whatever is the pain, opposite is gain. It's not true. Just go through these questions. Assume find out what these assumptions are, and then go and find out from your customer. So go back to the process now. Now you'll understand the process better. Look at the process now, right? It makes so much sense. You have an idea in your head, and then you do secondary research. You empathize with the customer. You understand the problem of the customer. You assume that that's the problem. You ask the customer and you come back with evidence. Just keep this slide, take this slide, print it out and keep it in front of you. Then you'll understand the process of customer discovery. And finally, for that word jumble I told you, give me a sentence now. Make a sentence out of this. All that you have learned, I have put here. And time is just 4 o'clock, so we are bang on time. So tell me, make a sentence out of this, put it on the chat. Let's see how your sentences look. You can change it from noun to verb or whatever. I want at least 10, 15 chat sentences now, please. So customer, you know what's reading, you know what's customer, you know what's empathy by now, you know what's assumptions, you know what's pain, you know what's gain, you know what's the meaning of validate, you know, listening. Listening means listening to what the customer is saying, not talking anything at all, not interrupting the customer. Listening is a skill that I can talk about for hours on end. We don't have the time. But the problem with listening means what is it that the customer is really saying? Not interrupting when the customer is speaking, not having any noise in your head when the customer is speaking, right? Not looking at WhatsApp when the customer is talking to you. Listening with complete intensity to what somebody is saying. Listening can have some great effects. We're not onto that now, but listening is an important tool in customer discovery, right? So if you can make sentences and put it on chat, I would have finished my talk. So wait, just so that I'm going to stop this presentation now, but look, you can quickly start making the sentence. Just look at these words again and give me a sentence, nice grammatical. Don't worry about the grammar. Just try and include as many words as you can in your sentence. Let's see. Yeah, I'm waiting for some sentences. I've got
Yeah, there is one, understanding the
Very
customer
good.
pain.
Nice. For an idea to be successful, it's essential to validate it based on the pain points of the customers, thereby, very good, nice. Where is the assumption? Jay, assumption. You want to change the idea to be successful to entrepreneurship to be successful, Jay? Yeah, understanding customer pain. Go ahead. I want more answers. Thanks, Jay. Very nice. I want at least two more. Yeah. What is this? What?
So participants write something.
Not something.
I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, what
Yeah.
Interlinking. Yeah.
interlinking these words.
I'm going to give you some time.
Validations. Okay, there
On the
is from Diksha. Diksha has written validations on the basis of surveys.
Concept note.
Oh,
It's not
there
a
is
concept
another
note.
one. Rakshit. Yesterday, I did a customer discovery, empathized with my customer, knowing their pains and gains while listening them out. It was important for me to validate my assumption.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, this was good.
Listen to the customer pain, empathize, make assumptions, and validate. Finally, discovering gain. Excellent. Very good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this was good.
Very good. I want some more. And
Yeah.
it's very encouraging. Shweta and
Yeah. Shweta is one of the applicants of BIG. I know her.
okay, Shweta, all the best.
She's a good scientist. Yeah.
Okay. Some more answers, please. Listening to pain of customer with empathy and to validate the discovery based on Dinesh. Excellent, Dinesh. Very good. Okay, two more and then we stop. But don't wait for the others to put those two more. Yeah, what is this? Come on, empathize with me now because I have been speaking for 20 minutes. I might as well get some reward from you by participating. Feel the way customer feels, empathize, place to help them, just proceed. Very good, nice. Find out the customer needs that are yet to be met. Yeah, but okay, fine. I thought you should use those words, that's why. Listen to customer pain with empathy and validate your assumptions for discovery as a gain. Yeah, but pain and gain are both, identifying the customer problems, empathize and make assumptions and validate. Very good. Excellent. And remember, it is so easy, right? It's so easy. But I tell you, we don't do it. So don't think I've succeeded, I've made 100 crores. I still haven't done much of it because it looks easy. But you know what? What is the problem? The problem is that, what do you think is the problem? Why is it that we don't do it? Anyone? Thanks, Sharik. Why is it that we don't do it? Why? Anyone? It's so simple. Took me 20 minutes to explain, but we still don't read. You know why? There's one word which spoils the whole thing. You're going to be surprised by that word. What is that? Love, love. Why is love the problem? Why is love the problem? Because all of us are in so much in love with our idea that we don't want to do anything about it.
Yes.
That's it. So I'm not trying to be a Hindi movie producer or director, but love is the problem. We are so much in love with your idea. You're so much in love with your idea. You don't want to listen to anyone. The whole world is telling you, Kalpana, 1,000 Kalpanas are saying, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I'm able to pack food. No, madam, you must be having a problem. That's what I have heard people say. And they go to great lengths. They resign from their jobs. They resign from their jobs. They go and do lots and lots of difficult stuff, difficult stuff, and finally end up disappointed because they're so much in love with the idea that they're completely blinded. And I think everything fits in. All of Shakespeare fits in now. Blinded by love, love is blind. Everything fits in here, right? And then they're so blinded by that idea that they don't want to listen. So I'm going to change the first slide. Nothing to do with passion. Passion is the wrong word. Just be practical. Find out if you. It's not. Passion is actually a wrong way. I don't know. I don't even know why we're talking about passion here, right? What we have to be talking about is, if I can create one idea, then I'm capable of creating 100 ideas. Then within these 100 ideas, which is the one the customer wants? It's absolutely practical entrepreneurship. Passion is something that you do after you have got the grant and all that. You practice it every day. You don't sleep. You do everything. But passion is not something that you should do before the grant, before you actually become an entrepreneur. It's silly to do that. Anyway, that's how I think. All right. So thanks, Priya. Thanks, Rohini. I hope I have met your expectations.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, what you said, that people are so much in love with their ideas that they fail to acknowledge that there is no actual need in the market. So I absolutely agree with this. And from the audience, is anyone having any questions for Shiva? Then they can ask. I have one question, Shiva. So I just want you to, because from past 2 years we have seen COVID, and there were like a lot of hurdles the startups faced, and many startups failed to flourish as well. So in such trying times, what should be the factors an entrepreneur or startup should take into consider, so that they are in the game, they don't fail themselves as a in such difficult situations?
I don't understand. What is it they want to know?
My question is that from past 2 years, the world is facing the COVID situation, and there has been lockdown, and uh, there have been many limitations and many difficulties as well for the startups to flourish, or even to sustain themselves. So you are an entrepreneur, you have a startup. So how you are able to manage yourself in that difficult situation? How you were able to overcome the hurdles you faced during that phase?
Yeah, actually, okay, thanks for the question, but I'm not sure whether there is a big problem at all, right? Because problems are what you think the problems are. For me, there was no problem at all. It didn't really make a difference to me, at least the type of work I'm doing, that there was COVID, there was no COVID, nothing at all. Actually, very strangely, COVID actually was very good for me, because in the COVID times, very good for me, because that's when I discovered biomimicry. So, so the whole point is not whether, see, there are two types of motivations in the world. One is intrinsic, who you are in you, and the other is extrinsic, what other people make you do, right? There's also something called control, what you can control, what you cannot control. I cannot control COVID. I cannot control what happens to me. I cannot control the virus, but I can control the way I behave, the way I want to do my life, the way I want to lead my life. And I think these are brilliant, big lessons I learned, right? So the only question is, yes, there is frustration. I'm not saying no. I have lost many of my friends. I'm upset about this whole thing. All that is fine. But can I control it? I cannot. What I can control is what I want to do, how I can use my time. And therefore, I told myself that I need to learn something new. I stumbled upon biomimicry. I couldn't let it go. By the way, I don't know whether how many of you know what biomimicry is, but biomimicry is understanding nature, looking at nature, learning from nature, and using the lessons from nature into something good. For instance, you walk into a forest, you see a lotus leaf, right? And then you find that the lotus leaf is the only organism that does not have any dirt on it. You ask yourself, why is it that the lotus leaf is not dirty? And then you examine the lotus leaf and you find it's got these small microstructures. And when the water falls on the lotus leaf, the water is washed away. So that means the lotus leaf is an engineer, is an innovator. Now you ask yourself, what are those problems in the world where you can use this technology? And then you think of children's clothing and maybe fabric, right? You can make fabric using this technology. What is the benefit? The benefit is to mothers who have to wash clothes. Therefore, what you have learned is you use the technology of nature to solve a human problem. There's actually a company called Lotus on Paints that makes paint using this technology. So you paint your house with this paint, and your house doesn't get as dirty as normal houses get. So I learned biomimicry. I learned that nature has solutions for almost every problem we have. I would encourage you to look at biomimicry, and you will find that it's a future of invention, future of innovation. So in answer to Rohini's question, there's always something that your curious mind can do. And it's always about not allowing external circumstances to dictate who you are, but trying and find out what is it that you can control and what is it you cannot control. Sorry, I gave you some gyan, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was good actually. So anybody else who has a question from the audience regarding understanding the customers? I think it was most of the points were covered, and I hope you were able to understand, you understood about the customer discovery and how you should write the business plan in your application as well, or any other, for any other grant as well. So if there are no further questions, you can write to us later on as well, and we will be providing with the recordings. You can visit our website or YouTube channel as well. So okay, there is one question.
So yeah, so Riaz, I have a question regarding big grant to Rohini.
Yeah, sure.
Good evening, Mr. Tony. So I just want to know whether this big grant is only for the startup or like academicians where we have been in the government college as a permanent professor, whether we can apply directly, like applying for funding agents like DPT, TST, or CSAR. Is that like that we can apply for the big, or only for the startup companies? It means the applicant should not be in the government sector or should not be in a regular position of academician. If it is there, yes or no?
As an academician, you can apply for BIG grant, but you should be able to get an NOC from your institute, because different institutes, for example, at IIT, professors do apply. They have their own companies. They're working as a professor as well, and they have their companies. So there is a provision. So you should go back to your institute, get an NOC from them, get a permission. Okay, this is you are being allowed for this. And academicians who are interested to have their own company along with their continuous whatever job they're having, they're welcome to apply, but get an NOC from the institute where you're working.
We no need to have any collaboration with the industry or something like that. So
you can have a collaboration as well. See, you can be the founder of the company, you can have a team, or who somebody, you can be the major, more than 33% shareholder in the company. You can act as an advisor as well, or make your student to be the main applicant and be the advisor in the application. Have some minimum 30, more than 30% share in the company, 20% share in the company. So you will be, you can be there.
Okay, that's what the major applicant should be our student or someone else, but we can be a share of this industry and we can have ideas.
I'm just one of the ways you can apply. I'm telling you, you can apply as a main applicant as well, or one of your student also can be a main applicant, and you can be an advisor or team member with the shares in the company.
Yeah, initially, one more point, like initially they can apply as an individual, and then later on they can convert into as a company, private limited company.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there's someone in the audience who's raised hand. Can I unmute them?
Hi, please, you can ask the question here.
I've unmuted Tino. He can ask his question.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Tino, and thank you for a very good lecture. I would like to ask Siva sir, Actually, finding the customer and the lecture was the glimpse was very good for us. So we have everything in our, after we have everything in our mind about our ideas, being with empathy. So when being an entrepreneur, suddenly if we go to a customer or whatever it may be, a patient, whatever, how to approach them. We struggle with the approach. So how we should approach? Any
So
suggestions or ideas?
you're saying approach, you're talking about finding out who the list of customers or asking for appointment or what is that? What is the
So
meaning of
not
approach?
for example, as you said, the example of putting ourselves into others' shoe, we could understand their pain. We want to help them. We want to ask their worriness, but how to approach?
How to approach? See, Tino, you need to answer my question. What is the meaning of approach? There are two. One is finding out how many kalpanas are there. That, or once you know there are 100 kalpanas, how do you talk to them? What is there? What is your
The
question?
second option.
Ah,
I know
so,
Kalpana. I know many Kalpanas. How to start the conversation with them?
okay, that's a great question. So, see, you're going to make some mistakes in the beginning, right? But how do you start a conversation with anyone at all? So you need to say the good things. I don't know whether you want to do, first and foremost, I don't know whether you want to meet them in person or meet them on Zoom or whatever. Let us assume you want to meet them in person. Then you have to write to them, you have to call them, you have to get an appointment with them, speak to them nicely. Don't tell them that you're selling the product. Just tell them you have an idea, you want to test the idea, and ask them for some time very politely. And when they give you the time, at that time you go and speak to them, ask the questions. That's it. And listen, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to take a lot of risk, right? Out of For my biomimicry, I spoke to at least about 100 people. I contacted 100 people. Only even 20 responded. Only 20 responded. So there is going to be that 12 rule, right? Out of 10 people, only 2 will respond, which is why you keep on asking, keep on asking, keep on asking, spend about 4 or 5 weeks on this. But in answer to the question, just do it the natural way, like what you did now, right? Out of 89 participants, you raised your hand and you came on this, asked the question, which means you already have that curiosity to find out. So use the same thing. Don't think any low of yourself. Don't think that you are lower than the other person. Nothing. You're all equal. You just with lot of confidence say, I want to speak to you. 99 or 100 times they will say, okay. Just pick up the phone and say, excuse me, I want to speak to you. Can I have about half an hour of your time? And then do that. If they say no, fine. If they say yes, great. But don't worry about the approach, Tino. You just have to go ahead and simply pick up the phone and call. That's it. Nothing will happen.
Call plus, I think they can also go for some online surveys as well.
No, survey won't happen because survey nobody will answer truthfully. They'll just
Okay.
quickly do anything. Here you will find out from the body language of the customer what that person feels. So talking to them directly is important.
Okay.
Are you happy with the answer?
Obviously, sir, because many researchers they have a lot of innovations, but the researcher is not a very good talkative person, or they are not that much bold to convey with the customers. So that's what I felt being a researcher. So how to get mingled with them or how to approach. That's what it was a very good example, and thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. All the best.
I think so. I guess we are running out of time now. So yeah. So for anybody from the audience who have questions, they can also write to us and we can direct the questions to the speaker and you can write to me as well. So Priya, we can close the webinar.
Yeah, fine. So yeah, I will thank everyone. So obviously, Mr. Shiva, really, we didn't have a time at all. Actually, we should have given you like full 1 hour, and actually there are a lot of. It's very interactive, and even we had like around 10 answers for the questions you have raised from the participants. It's really very interactive session, and yeah, it's really nice. It's very short time actually we have given to you. Obviously, we will have the next session. We can have it for one full long session for exclusively for Mr. Shiva, for you alone. And thank you so much, sir, for making your presence and giving your valuable time. And really, it's a very interesting session today by both Ms. Rohini and as well as Ms. Shiva for the customer discovery, which is one of the key process to become a successful startup. Really, thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Rohini. And I also would like to thank the outreach partner from the two college, Dr. Riaz from the Islam College and Dr. Andrew Pradeep. And my teammates from Bio Incubator, Dr. Prabha, Dr. Bharati, thank you for your presence here, and thank you so much for organizing this event.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rohini.
Want to share my email ID with the participants? Go ahead and share.
Yeah.
My email ID, if you want to share it, please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I can share you. Yeah, I can share it to the outreach partners. They will be circulating to the participants.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. We will share you your email ID to them. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rohini.
Bye, Rohini. Thank you. Bye, Priya.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. We'll catch up
Bye.
in another event. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, participants. Bye.